today I'm going to show you how to make a really simple keto-friendly 2-ingredient fudge. This is it here. It's super easy to make, literally because it's got 2 ingredients. Chocolate, sugar-free chocolate, which actually tastes pretty good on its own, and peanut butter, and we're just going to mix the two. So it's super simple, there's no baking, a little bit of just heating it up, which we'll get to in a minute, but that's just it. So we'll talk quantities first of all. So number one, you want approximately half and half between the 2 ingredients, but just a little bit less of the peanut butter. But as long as you've got slightly more chocolate than you do peanut butter, it's going to hold its shape. If you have too much peanut butter, it's just going to be too soft. Righto. The first step for me really is something I don't want to have to think about later, which is setting up what I'm going to set up the fudge in. And I've just got a little bake tray here. It's about, I don't know, 15 centimeters by 25 centimeters and a centimeter high. So I'm going to line it with grease-proof paper. To make it stick in there, I'm just going to put a bit of butter in there. Just a little bit. Done. Okay, we'll move on to the ingredients themselves. So, just going to break this chocolate up. So we're going to use the double boil method to combine these, which I'll show you in a minute. But essentially this bowl will rest on top of a small pot of simmering water. Heats the bowl, heats everything that's inside it with a nice sort of gentle heat so they don't burn anything. And that'll loosen all of the ingredients so we can mix them together. You can see here this chocolate I'm using. Less than 1% sugar. Now I've got about 200 grams of chocolate in here. So I'm shooting for about 150 grams or so of peanut butter. Again, you don't have to be super accurate, as long as it's a little less than half. Looks about right to me. Yeah, I'm just going to put sort of 1 or 2 inches of water in there. Doesn't have to be a lot. Get the heat on, bring it up to temperature and just let it get to a gentle simmer. That's really all we're after. Once the water's starting to bubble just a little bit on a nice gentle simmer, we can get that bowl on top. Pretty shortly you'll start to see the chocolate begin to melt. You just want to work this mixture around using a spatula that's suitable for heat and just mix it all together. You also just want to keep it moving to make sure that it doesn't burn anything. Just about there. You can see how quickly this comes up. And just a couple of quick lumps there. I can turn the heat off now. And then once all the lumps have gone, we can just simply pour this into the little tray we prepared earlier. Push it into the corners. And then all you need to do is put this in the freezer for about 45 minutes until it's set. Alright, this has been sitting in the freezer for, like I said, about 45 minutes. And it's nice and firm. Now, once we've cut this up, you should be able to store it unrefrigerated if you live in a fairly cool environment, but where I am, it's about 38 degrees today. It's about 100 Fahrenheit, so I tend to keep this sort of thing in the fridge. I think I can just cut this once down the middle. Of course, the size that you cut yours all depends on how big of pieces you want. These are to eat now. Yeah, you can see it's already melting because it's so hot here today. Well, there we have it. As I said, this is a relatively straightforward recipe. Quantities don't matter too much because, as you can see, I didn't really measure anything too much. As long as the peanut butter is slightly less than the quantity of chocolate, it should come out pretty good. Now, I really do hope you give this a go. I've actually made this twice in 24 hours. I did a little test yesterday and it turned out so good that I thought, you know what, I've got to show everyone how easy this was. And as I keep saying, it tastes absolutely delicious. Thanks for watching.